Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hey everyone, welcome to the discussion for Cartouche, which is a game that I backed on, you guessed it, Kickstarter. So this game was like super cheap, I think, to back.
Okay.
And it's a polyomino game, so I was like, sure. Like, let's, it's Egyptian.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah, I'm just looking on my pledge. Yeah, $40.
Oh, wow.
Like, to get...
That's all in?
Yeah, the promo pack and
all the
stretch goals. And whenever I got it in, I was kind of, like, not really, like, that excited to play it, because it's like, I love polyomino games.
Yeah.
Like, a lot. Almost, pretty much, if it's a polyomino game, I'm going to generally like it. Mm-hmm. But then it's like, well, you know, kind of, once you play one, you have kind of played them all. Like, a lot of them don't really go out
Variants
of their
on
wheelhouse.
a theme, but not...
Yeah. And the ones I really like. So Isle of Cats and Feast for Odin. Mm-hmm. So I was like, okay, yeah, sure. Let's just play this just so we can, get a review out.
Yeah.
And surprisingly, I think it's actually really good.
I think it's good, and I think it's a very different type of polyomino game.
Right.
Because it's not primarily about the placement.
Mm-hmm.
It's primarily about making connections.
Yeah. Yeah, they did kind of twist it on its head. It's kind of both.
Yeah. Because
they have what's called stories, which I would pick literally any other word. Basically your objective cards. So you have 3 different types of things that are giving you tokens. So whenever you place tiles that match a certain connection on your board, then you get a token. You can spend those tokens to finish out things and get points for it. There's encasings. So you encase certain symbols, or hieroglyphs or glyphs in general, to get points. And then there's the river, which is a continuous stream of glyphs. That's your third objective, as well as randomized achievements, and then your same ones that are going to be out there. Right. So yeah, placement super matters. Yeah. But also at the same time, it's not like Feast for Odin where you're trying to cover things up, or right. Isle of Cats where you're trying to cover things up.
Right. No, you're strategically placing them on the board, but you're not trying to just
fill out your board.
Exactly.
Because both you and I went in radical...
So it's more like Isle of Cats in that sense. Because Isle of Cats is about covering as many spaces as possible, but more than that, it's about making strategic connections.
That is true. Feast for Odin is mainly cover up because you're getting a bunch of negative points.
Right.
And this one, it is kind of the best of both worlds. Like, you have your massive bag of tiles that you only have 4 different colors, but it's obviously different shapes and different combinations of those colors. Some of them you really want, a piece that's worth 2, or that's 2 colors on it, because then you might get more tokens.
Right.
Others you're like, I could really use a solid color one, because I really need to complete this river.
Yeah.
But they give you enough also wilds. The Cartouche tiles, which are the purple ones, are the wilds, essentially. They count as kind of any connection. What do you think? So this game, I felt, it was really tight, on actual rounds. So I'm very curious what your thoughts are on that.
Explain more.
The fact that you only get to pick 2 things. You're given...
Limited.
In a 2-player game, you're given 7 options.
Yeah.
Between either 4 tiles and 3 objective cards, really.
Right.
But you only can pick a combination of 2.
In any combination. You can only pick 2 of them.
Yeah.
Drafting back and forth. So, at first that seemed very, very limited. Mm-hmm. But I'm also going to say that even if we got one more piece to deal with, I think that would just stretch out the rounds even longer.
Yeah.
Thinking about, how do I do this? What do I do this? Because I was doing that with just 2 pieces.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if I had 3, I don't know what I'd do.
I was hoping for 3 because if
I actually did that once. I drew 3 randomly.
Oh, that's right.
And then had to figure out which one I want and then where to place it. And that took, I don't know how long it took.
I don't know. I was too busy trying to figure out my own shit. Because whenever you're trying to place it, obviously you have the standard rules. Has to be touching a piece you already placed, yada, yada, yada.
Can't go off the board.
Yeah, can't go off the board, can't overlap, things like that. But with trying to match them to tokens or trying to cover up stuff, it's like, oh man. And also thinking about the achievements with only given, and that's if you chose to take 2 tiles, which means you're foregoing points. Achievements or stories. And that was like, oh my god, like, okay, because really you want to try and take stories that you can almost complete immediately.
Right. So you either take stories right off the bat and then figure out how to complete them in later turns.
Yeah.
Or you play some tiles and then you hopefully get some stories that are pretty close. And both of those worked out for me.
Yeah.
Both of those strategies.
Our score was like 4 points different.
I thought it was just 1. 58.
I got 54.
Oh, okay, 58.
Yeah, you got 58. So it was extremely close through various different strategies of the things that were completed. And
I only saw one opportunity to hate draft because I wasn't paying attention to what you were doing.
No, not even a little.
And it wasn't even worth my time to do it.
No, not really.
So,
especially because
focusing on my own thing.
Right, the points from first to second aren't that radical. It's 10 points or 7 points.
Or 5 and 3.
Yeah. So now, granted, in a 3-player game or 4-player game, it's 10 to 6. But even then, that's not that bad.
Right.
The only person who's not getting anything is the 4th player. Which at that point they shouldn't. If they're like, I finally did it, guys. I was trailing after you.
Not really worth a bonus.
I think that is the crux of this game. Well, they have a lot of stuff that it does remind me of little pieces of other games. But not enough to be like, well, might as well play that game over this one.
Right. It's its own mix.
Yeah, the Taken 2 is very... And some people might not like that because it's like, it is completely random and also tied at the same time.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, yeah, I'm going to get these points. Now I really hope I can complete them and none of the tiles are coming out that I need.
Yep.
Granted, the only times you ever really need, I think, specific tiles are the river story cards. Yeah, obviously you need specific tiles to get the tokens, but those are kind of really easy to get.
Yeah, there's enough scattered around.
Yeah,
you can get them.
You're not going to be hosed by it, but my least favorite objectives are the river ones.
Yeah,
it seems way more restrictive than the other ones.
Yeah.
I guess you could also say, well, technically this is the most restrictive because you need exactly 3 tokens. But again, these are so easy to get. You have ways of getting scarab tokens, which are also wilds, but you also have ways of getting of the randoms.
Cartouche pieces.
Yeah, the cartouche pieces.
Which their main function would be to finish up rivers.
I think so too.
Well, no, I mean the rivers and the chambers probably equally. Yes.
Because what I did with a lot of my tokens was I turned them in for the 1x1s.
Yeah.
And then the 2 pieces that I took were like the
3 more.
What is this, a 3? No, that's
4.
a 4. That's a 4 wide.
Yeah.
Which is huge.
Yeah.
At some point, funny enough, we had an objective that was like touch one corner into the other, but I built like solely in the middle that I was like, I guess I can try.
Yeah.
It really would have just been, put something here, then just put a long piece there, and I could have done it.
I didn't even notice that was a goal.
Yeah.
So I never tried, but I would have started just to see if that could happen.
Right.
If I could do it.
Because there are quite a few objectives, like achievements, and this, if you got the promo pack, I think it gives you 7 more. So we did the ones that were 2 of each token type, which I thought you were going to go for because you were generating a bunch of tokens. I was not.
Yeah.
Mainly, I guess I could have. Like I was spending them.
Yeah.
What's also interesting, I think, is they do still kind of restrict you as the game goes on because a lot of these story cards have a little black token, which means you have to cover up one of the icons they use. So you can't just keep railroading or using the same icon and just be like, oh, look at that, I have one already encased. Oh, look at that, I already have one encased.
Yeah.
And I enjoy that because it prevents top decking.
Yeah.
Or strategic play. Because you can, maybe if you use like 2 cats in one, you could cover up one and save one for another story card, but eventually...
Or river.
Or river. But eventually it's like, well, okay, now I finally have to use it.
Yeah. Yeah, and actually I came up with one. I had to cover one of them up, so I just picked one that I thought was the best choice. And then the next round, a chamber card came out, so that would have been perfect if I hadn't covered it up.
Right.
But I didn't feel like I'd lost anything. I just bad
no.
luck.
It is. With how tight the game, feels. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I do think they found a pretty good blend of it. Of whenever you're taking stuff, you're like, I'm not doing anything, but then you finish it and you're like, oh, no, I actually did.
Yeah. The last round I took, I can't even remember if it was 2 tiles. No, I think it was a tile and a story, and I was able to finish all my stories just by placing that one tile.
Right.
But that took me a while to figure out.
Yeah. So you can get really big swings of turns. I mean, it's not completely impossible to the one we had of covering up exactly 8 icons.
Yeah.
Of completing that while also finishing out the corner to corner, and that's a 20-point swing.
And planned right, you've also got a really long river that's touching a bunch of them.
Exactly.
So.
Or a bunch of tokens that you've collected throughout that. So you can. This game allows for short-term planning and also long-term.
Long-term hope. The longer term...
I guess so, yeah.
So I'm going to say that it's a really good balance of strategy and luck.
Yeah.
So you can try to make a long-term plan, but it's luck if it works out.
Well, I guess in the terms of the achievements, the ones that we specifically have, there's
true.
nothing anyone can do to stop. Like, you can't prevent me from enclosing exactly 8.
Right.
You might make it a little bit harder because you're taking, the long pieces or something, but I also feel that that's someone going out of their way to be like, oh, okay,
Well, and sometimes I like the games that lend themselves to those strategies, because then it's a question of, I can screw you over, but is it really screwing me more if I do that?
Exactly, yeah. It's a competitive game. I'm all about competition. My thing of hate drafting is specifically that, where it's like, you gain nothing out of that except to prevent me from something, so now I just despise you as a human being.
Yes.
Not even a fundamental game player. You are a non-contributing garbage human being.
Thank you.
Not you.
I mean...
Anyway, now back to the game. No, people who do that.
Yeah.
Because, that's games like Steam Up or Petrichor, where it's like, I didn't gain anything from that, except, I guess, the sadistic pleasure of screwing over another player. It's like, no, that's fun. You're fun to be around.
Or at least in some of those games, all I'm doing is stretching the game out another round, hoping that something magical happens.
Yeah, exactly. So, the achievements, it's more of like a race, which I like. Because it's like,
but it's not a huge penalty to not get there first.
No, it's like, okay, 3 points. Hopefully I don't lose by 3 points, but yeah. And then they have the ones where if you just set collection of different story types.
Yeah, which I never tried to achieve. I just happened to.
I think those are almost going to be kind of natural because the ones I got, I also didn't really plan for.
Yeah.
It was just, those are the ones, like, I went into the encasing ones because I felt that those were, I guess they're called chamber stories, but that's the ones I went for. Tokens, and then rivers, I got about the same. So, this one was surprisingly good.
Yeah.
Just because I was never excited to actually play it. Like, alright, yeah.
Do you know why? I'm curious. Is it maybe because it wasn't as expensive?
No, no.
There is a perceived value that's tied with price.
Sure, like obviously you want to get your money's worth out of games.
Right, so if it was 60, would you go, I'm playing that?
No, because Darwin's Journey has been up there too, and that was like 150.
Okay. Okay.
Like campaign games I have that are like, $400 or $500 sit on my shelf. Just because I have that expendable income, I can just fucking leave.
Not anymore, you've already expended it.
But no, it was more of just kind of like, I backed it, then I got it, and it's like, I'm not really in the mood I'm in the mood for fun games,
Gotcha.
We've had that discussion of like, I want to play things like, Massive Darkness, or just thematic video game-esque games. So, these kind of games, it's like,
It's a mood, and you haven't been in the mood.
Pretty much. And like I said, polyomino games kind of, you get the ones you really like. So why, like, Hidden Movement is that genre for me.
Yep.
Like, I have the ones I really like. You got to do something really unique for me to even keep it. Mm-hmm. And I think this actually is a really good, solid one to keep. Yeah. Because, like I said, it gives me some Isle of Cats vibes, but it's clearly not that. No. It's unique in and of itself, of the placement, so it's not fill out your board. There's enough variety with the different achievements. It's not long.
No. What was it like?
30 minutes? I don't think it was an hour.
Okay.
Like,
it didn't feel like it because at any given time we're thinking about what am I doing? What am I planning?
Yeah.
How can I do this?
Yeah.
You're not wasting time waiting for someone else.
Exactly, and it's going to be 10 rounds, no
Yes.
matter how many players you have.
That's true. I bet it was about 45. I didn't time it.
I didn't either. So, I mean, what does the box say? Box says 20 minutes per player. So, sure, 40 minutes. But that's the thing. You play with 4 players. It's not like, oh, well, now you have... I mean, you have obviously more tiles and stuff. It's it's six tiles and 5 cards. Mm-hmm. But everyone is still only ever going to draft 2. You take turns, so it's... I mean, it's also... Because you're only taking 2, I think it actually kind of kills analysis paralysis.
Yeah.
Because
you don't have enough options to try to make that kind of a plan.
Yeah.
That was what I was thinking about, balance of luck and strategy.
Exactly. It's kind of like whenever you're playing, like you've played Cascadia, right?
Yes.
Okay, so Cascadia kind of has that where it's like, what pair of stuff do I want? But because you have to take the pair, you don't have to be like, okay, well, if I take that tile and I take that, and that token, I mean, you obviously can do things to mix and match, but it just kind of makes it easier to kind of see what is immediately the best option. There were a couple times where I'm sitting there and I was looking at story cards, and I'm like, can I complete that with 1 tile that I have? That is my only other option. So yeah, I'm extremely surprised, and I wonder if I'm more surprised because I hadn't been wanting to play it. So I'm like, ooh, it was actually good. But no, I think it is extremely solid.
I think so.
And the Egyptian theme is there.
Yeah,
it's
abstract.
It is abstract, but they did
a good job.
A good enough job.
Yeah.
It does have an expansion, pyramid expansion, which shows you have to try and complete pyramid achievement cards, which make you want to actually make like specific shapes. If you want to make the game more complex, it does have a solo mode. I haven't tried it. But yeah, and then they also kind of give you some fun facts throughout the rulebook. Like, did you know that Hatshepsut often ordered that statues should depict her as a man to reinforce her right to rule as pharaoh?
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Do you have other interesting facts about ancient Egypt?
Yes, I do. Hatshepsut used a skin lotion made with benzoaprine, a highly carcinogenic substance. Many scholars believe this caused the bone cancer that likely killed her.
You know, I had heard that rumor, but since
now,
it was in the post, I didn't believe it.
And because it says fact. So the irrefutable is that right there. In your board game manual, you learn more than you learn in fucking history schools, history classes in schools.
At least paying attention more.
Exactly. We also haven't really talked about this. This mechanic also has been in other games, the Ankh system.
Yeah.
Where by completing achievements, you get a perk.
Yeah.
I know other games have done that. I cannot for the life of me think of any off the top of my head. But it actually might be attributed to polyomino games. I think.
I'm sure I've seen it.
I feel like that's where I have seen it, though, is in another polyomino game. But I enjoy that as well. Being able to be like, oh, I completed an achievement. That's 10 points. Now what you do? I want 2 scarabs.
But again, there's only 5 options. So
there's 6, because the very last one is reusing.
Yes,
one.
So there are 5 options, and then you can reuse one of them if you get that far again.
There's 5 unique options, 6 total options, because one of the options is to reuse another option.
I concede for expedience.
But yeah, that is very nice. And then also, you have different mats.
Yep.
Or I guess 2 sides.
Yes.
Which this would be kind of the only other thing I'd say would be nice for more variety.
Yeah.
Is using it's more different boards.
Yeah. Which is going to be easy enough to come up with.
I think so. I don't know how well this game did.
But that brings us to the complaint.
Yeah. Oh, what's the complaint?
The complaint was it's not specified which one is the easy beginner side and which one is the advanced side.
Yeah, it's like, hey, if this is your first game, use A, and I'm like, which one's A?
The A and the B are not printed.
They are not. They do eventually show it in the rulebook. The rulebook is actually pretty well done.
Yeah.
For a smaller company like this. to do better rulebooks. And
There were only 2 very specific deficiencies we found. That was one.
yeah, one of the story cards was like, it was showing 5 of what we assumed to be random or of any type, but it's like, okay, do you need just any 5 tokens, or do they all have to be the same?
Yeah. Any as long
No
as they
clue.
match.
No
But
clue. That's there. And then
I think our answer made the most sense.
I think so too.
But we shouldn't tell them. Just don't want to prejudice them.
Right, and then yeah, and then just which board is supposed to be which. I don't know why they couldn't just put a tiny. I mean, you could even make it do the Egyptian A or whatever. I don't know if there is an Egyptian A.
I don't think they had letters.
Do a hieroglyph of an A.
Did Egyptians ever write things down?
No, they did a lot of drawings. Yeah. But other than that, extremely solid.
Yeah.
Very, very surprised. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it quite a bit.
I would play it again.
Well, I asked if you wanted to play it again. You're like, So would
You said you want to play like 7 other things.
I do. So on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you give Cartouche?
You know what? I'm gonna go 8, but I think with repeated plays it might go higher.
Yeah, that's exactly where I'm at as well. Like, I think, especially as the more we talked about it, the more I was enjoying it.
Cool.
So yeah, 8 out of 10 for me as well. So that's our thoughts on Cartouche. Let us know what you think of the game in the comments below. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you. Hey everyone, thank you for watching, and I really hope that you enjoyed the video. If you would like to see more of my content, go ahead and click that subscribe button and the bell to be notified whenever I upload any new content. If you feel like supporting the channel, you can go ahead and click that Patreon link to be taken to my Patreon, and any help is truly appreciated. Other than that, stick around for any other run-throughs or reviews or cool top 10s or whatever I feel like putting on. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you.